The second option for the midterm is to take the open book exam. And this is an exam that is a form that's very typical of literature classes and other classes in the humanities, where you're being asked to identify quotations from your readings. So you will see the instructions, and the exam is online, but there's a set of 5 quotations, and you have 2 jobs to do with those quotations. First, you want to identify it. So if this text is from, what's a text? Oh, a song lyric. What's love got to do with it? If that were my quotation, I could tell you that it's written by Tina Turner. That's the author. It comes from a song called What's Love Got to Do with It? The genre is a popular song lyric. It's kind of lyric poetry. And I don't remember when it was first recorded. I think it was someplace in the 80s, 1987, let's say that. I'd have to look it up in my notes. You might have to look up the dates for Dante or the Song of Songs, or remind yourself of what the genre is. So your first job is to match the quotation to the author, title, genre, date. That's for 5 points. And then your second task is to explain the quote. And you have the opportunity to write a pretty significant paragraph. Paragraph is, 8 or 10 sentences. And your first job to explain a quotation is to think about what words in the quotation are, where are the power words, where are the hot spots. You might look over those and circle or write down the words that you think are really, really important. One of the things that you want to do in your paragraph of explanation is to talk about those words. Talk about the key words, the signifying words, and listen to my dogs barking in the back. So if I was doing the Dante hellish squall quotation, for example, well, hellish is negative and dark. This is obviously squall is a storm. This is a part that's describing the environment that Virgil and Pilgrim Dante have walked into. It's the weather report of this shape of hell, and they're going to have different weather in different parts. So I'm going to explain how these words are meaningful to the text it is drawn from. What's it tell us about the larger issue of the Inferno, the larger issue of the story? Where does it place us in the story? So explaining key words, explaining why they're important. Because from all the quotations I could have chosen, I chose this quote for the exam. Why this one? Why is this quotation so important to the specific story of the text that we're looking at? So 3 sentences, 4 sentences can talk about that. And then I also want to talk about how these ideas connect to our class conversation. Hellish squall. Yeah, it's about weather, but it's also about intense weather. And intensity has been one of our themes, one of our dimensions. Hell is dark and negative and bad, and to be in hell is a moral judgment. Hellish is a moral judgment. Go to hell. So this text, this quotation is also about judgment, about wrongdoing, about bad behavior, about immoral sin. So I want to talk about how each of these quotations connects to the larger conversation of our class and our life. I'm not so sure I would put Paolo and Francesca in hell for a kiss. It's really crappy behavior to cheat on your fiance. But a kiss, although maybe, and at this point I read no further, maybe it was much more than a kiss. Maybe I'm not understanding. And she is kind of a whiny bitch, Francesca. I hate to say, but maybe she's in hell because she refuses to take responsibility for herself. And I really do think that does connect with my morality. I think we do bad things, but we can take responsibility from them. We can learn and we can grow and we can be better. So, I have lots of things I can say about my personal morality. I may not believe in the black and whites of Dante. I don't think it's as simple as Dante does. But I can still, he gives me terms. He gives me a context to think and reflect upon my own moral world and my own moral judgments. I don't have to endorse his to to get benefit from reflecting on his to better understand my own. I think that's one of the reasons we read literature is we don't have to agree with what we read or even like it, but man, the terms and the conversation helps us become more assured of where we are, how we stand, more communicative of things that really matter to us. So you have this midterm exam, a chance to identify the quotes, explain why they're important, and explain how they connect to the conversation into our lives. You get 5 quotations to do that, and that's the biggest part of the midterm test. This is 5 paragraphs of writing. Just 5 or 6, not quite as much as the midterm essay, but in terms of your sophistication, your clarity, your chance to use vocabulary from the conversation, these paragraphs, I want these really to be college level paragraphs showing how you've gotten better and better about talking precisely about language, about symbol systems that we see, and about the things that we've been talking about. It's a chance for you to practice and to kind of show off the skills that you've been developing with those lit journals and also with your discussion boards. Some of the discussion boards have been really great. Okay, the next part of the exam I think is going to be fun. So part 3 of the exam is the vocabulary, and this is an open book exam, which I think kind of makes it really fun. You get to go to your lexicon and you get to pick 10 words. Of all the words you connected, which 10 are you going to show off? So you can pick, and I want you to pick 10 good ones. I want you to pick words that are really interesting and sexy, and you just can't wait to wedge into a conversation. Or I want you to pick words that are really useful, that are going to help you in writing about the text and the other part. Words that are really we need for this conversation. They might be 50-cent words, but they're words worth learning because they're going to help us better express some of the nuance and some of the subtlety of the issues that we're talking about. So pick 10 good ones and then use them in sentences that show that you know them, that you're familiar with them, that you can wield them with dexterity and precision and pleasure. So you get to pick 10 and you get to write 10 sentences. Now, for extra points, you can write sentences that make me smile, giggle, or guffaw. So if the sentence makes me laugh, extra points. If you can use more than one word in a sentence, extra points. If you can make me laugh with multiple words, now you're really good. So you can earn extra points if the sentences are clever, funny, fun, or amusing in any way. And when you're doing the vocabulary list, just bold the words so I can see them wherever you put them in whatever sentences. So you have to use 10 words. I guess you use all 10 words in one sentence. That would be somewhat ridiculous, but I'm sure one of you will do it. But they can be 10 sentences, but mostly get 10 words into shapely, smart, and sophisticated sentences that give you as much pleasure writing them as they give me reading them. Okay, 150 points for the exam. Off you go. I'm looking forward to them. Have fun.